I'm going to just simply title this one, The Bloodline That Never Died. The Bloodline That Never Died. For those who've been watching for a while, when we talk about the different Bibles that's out, when we talk about the Nephilim, when we talk about the Watchers, if you are into the book of Enoch 1, 2, and 3, or we could say the Apocrypha, for years, not just years, but generations and generations and generations of us not having the truth. You'll think something is seriously wrong with you when you were searching through the word, through scriptures, and the biggest other lie they always told us was it's only 66 books of the Bible. Now, you oftentimes hear me talk about the Ethiopian Bible a lot, right? You hear me mention the Ethiopian was here probably like 800 years before the King James Bible came out. We've talked about the Council of Nicaea. We've talked about Constantine. Throughout the years, we've talked about so much, but I want to come back, and if you was like me, you knew something didn't feel right, even when you was being taught, and you knew that something was missing. And you oftentimes hear me say the main books that they tell us don't read, don't believe in this, it's not inspired, it ain't the Holy Scriptures, like they say about Enoch. It fills in the gaps of what's missing. That Ethiopian Bible is heavy. What's wrote in the Ethiopian Bible, and you compare it with the King James version of the Bible, you're going to see some stuff missing. You're going to see a lot of stuff missing. And then remember I told y'all about the slave Bible. So many when you start talking about taking scriptures out of the Bible, of course, a lot of things are not going to line up. But what's the main thing I always say? Pray in the Spirit. Study in the Spirit. Holy Spirit say, I write the word on your heart. But I'm doing this video because there's a lot of people that's new to the page also who have these questions about how do you study? Why do you study the Ethiopian Bible? Why do you study the Geneva? Why do you have a strong concordance? Why do you have a Cepher or Scepter? What's going on, bro? Ain't the King James Bible enough? It may be enough for most people. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but you got to realize things was already wrote before. And how can you block out the Ethiopian Bible? See, they knew what they was doing. And when you start talking about a bloodline that never died, now one thing I love that the King James Bible say that there was giants before and after the flood. Why did so much of this stuff get removed? So to those that believe it's only just 66 books, that's your belief. And you can keep believing that if you want to, but as for us that go deeper than that, this video is for you. That's why a lot of things are not going to line up, because it's not going to fill in those gaps. See, when you say study, that means you got to investigate. You've been hearing me say that for years. So just wanted to share this with y'all. That's why when you start talking about who run the world, so many people for years was fooled, even me, all of us that didn't know at first. You'll read and you'll get you'll get confused on what has really happened. Why was stuff taken out of the word? Why we was only taught to learn this far and then stop right here. And you knew something wasn't right. Some of y'all gonna understand this, and some probably won't understand it. But those who get it, y'all know what I mean by this. So let's continue to study to show ourselves approved. And that's why whoever gets why I'm naming this a bloodline that never ended, and why we talk about bloodline so much, Nephilim, we talk about the Watchers, we talk about Genesis 6 so much. Y'all already know what time it is. And we talk about what? The days of Noah. That's why you hear me all the time say as I close here, the end is not yet. You'll hear me mention this right here, beginning of sorrows, birth pains. The end is not yet. But you'll hear people saying he's coming soon. Soon means what? I end on that. What do soon mean when grandma and them thought that he was coming in their generation? I'm not trying to put a time limit on the Holy Spirit. Neither should you. Shalom, family.